good right there?
Yep.
All right.
Awesome.
Mike, Dr. Tony, I'm the local chiropractor here, Dr. Rakovic, Crooked Spine Show. What I do is really interview people locally, and Jeremy sent me your information. I looked at your stuff too, phenomenal. Done great work with your clients.
Thank you.
Your own personal health too. What I want to talk about with my clients, they're not a lot of bodybuilders, but a lot of it is how do you get healthy? How do you start wherever you are and get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little better? And a lot of things when I hear about is when you're on your deathbed, you only have one wish.
Yeah.
You know, we want to get out of it as soon as possible. Can I do things in my life now to meet with you and what you do to make my body stronger, healthier, recover from diabetes, from sometimes arthritis, high cholesterol, problems like that people don't realize training does that for you. Okay? So walk me through your story, because I always kind of want to get the backstory. Did you start lifting more in high school, playing high school sports, even before that? I'll get that, buddy. Yeah.
Let's see. Whoa, let's see. A little bit of backstory about me.
The background, Mike.
Let's see. I've always been an active individual ever since childhood.
Okay.
I've been active in high school athletics. I went on to play college athletics.
What did you play in high school? What was your favorite sports, or what did you
My
like to do?
favorite sport, contrary to popular belief, is I actually enjoyed running track.
Nice.
That was my number one sport. I've done that the longest. I've done that since I was 10 years old. And then when I got to high school, you know, I wanted to be that rough and tough guy.
Like, this is it.
So I started playing football. I loved that. And then...
Would you play football position, or what would you focus on?
I like to refer to myself as a battering ram.
Nice.
Fullback? I played fullback, running back. I played outside linebacker.
You just hit people?
I just hit people. Like I said, I was a battering ram.
I want to hit people.
I was a battering ram. That's what my coach was doing. And I was completely okay with that.
Like, hey, sure.
Sure. Hey, Gonzales, go hit him. Sure, not a problem.
Got
Take
it.
care of that.
What number? Got it.
Yeah.
He's
You want him
out.
out of the game? Okay.
Done. What high school?
No, Pomona.
Okay, good. Local,
Yeah,
Perfect.
local,
Jeremy,
local.
too. Got it. Okay.
Exactly.
Cool.
Then I went on to college, played at University of Laverne.
Awesome.
I played 2 years over there.
Cool.
Same thing, played outside linebacker, nickel back position.
Okay.
Still ran track,
Just hit
did
people.
long jump, triple jump, hammer, javelin, discus, shot
So you
put.
double sported then, too.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I had a pretty proud career, I like to say. You know.
Well, and you stayed local, too.
Oh, yeah.
You had local fans, probably family coming to your games, too. Made it real easy for you.
Yeah, more or less.
Nice.
More or less. So yeah, that's a little bit about me. I started weight training freshman year of high school.
Okay.
Kind of got into it, and I was doing the cliche. Okay, all I want to do was have big arms and big shoulders and a big
I
chest.
want to look good.
Yeah, I want to look good. I don't think it was until my junior year of high school one of my coaches had told me, you know, he had noticed me on working out. He said, hey, you know, why don't you got actually a pretty strong lower body. Why don't you do more to develop it? And that's when I got more and more into...
Kind of mentored you through it?
Yeah, he kind of mentored me through it. And he did so more for the fact that we were trying to improve me for my jumping capabilities.
Oh, so more track than in football.
Oh, yeah, more track than football.
Okay.
Yeah, he was trying to prep me to break a school record, but you know what? You know, it didn't happen, and that's okay with that. But I got.
Did you learn something from that?
Oh, I learned a great deal from it.
Huge.
A huge deal from it. And then, like I said, I carried over into college athletics. I met with a great strength and conditioning coach, Matt Durant, over at University of Laverne.
Okay.
He mentored me, got me into Olympic-style weightlifting.
Wow.
And that really took me from being just brute strength to more efficient, precise, explosive strength, and it's been uphill and downhill ever since then.
And when you're doing that, going back to high school, it's because I have a lot of high school students that watch my videos from Upland High, Claremont, Cucamonga, even Chaffee too, a little bit west of here. What mentality would you give them to get into some type of weight training program, some type of mentor? What would you recommend for them? Because I know high schools are notorious, and I see it all the time where, like, go lift that bar and put more weight on there. I don't care how you get it up. I just want to see a bigger number. That's what I see.
See, probably the best piece of advice I would give any high school athlete would be check your sources.
Got it. So find someone that actually, hey, have they done it? Have they actually not competed, if you want per se? Are they not? Would you say certified?
You know what?
Does that matter these days?
You know, if you would ask me this question maybe 10 years ago,
Yeah.
I would have been like, yo, they have to be certified. No.
Okay.
Believe it or not, if you want to measure one's coachable strength,
The credibility.
as it goes, yes, exactly. One, do they have the experience? And two, to what degree do they have that experience?
Explain that, yeah.
I say that because, you know, I have my bachelor's degree, I've got my national certifications, and I've met some phenomenal coaches who even I still go back to, who never went to college. But they've got over 20 years at the highest level of competition.
Wow.
And hundreds of athletes they've coached over those years. So they
have the reputation.
They've got a reputation of their program works, it is time tested, and has a higher rate of success.
So having someone like that in your corner allows you to say, hey, look, they've done it. They can teach me something through their experience, maybe not their book knowledge or certifications or paper on the wall.
Yeah.
That's going to help me more than someone who has that book knowledge but doesn't know me, does not deal with people every day.
They may know theory, but not necessarily have the practice behind it.
Exactly. And I think a lot of that when I interview people and talk about what they're doing, they have the experience, they've done it for years. They can sit in front of a camera like we are now, no script involved, and go, hey, look, let's talk about weight, let's talk about bodybuilding, let's talk about what we're doing. Because you've already done it before. Makes my job easy, to be honest with you. And going from college, what did you do after college, or was there more expectations for Olympic lifting after college too?
More expectations? No.
Okay.
Not more than maybe just own personal growth. I wanted to try it. You know, I try.
Push your body.
Yeah, you know, I challenge myself. I challenge myself physically, but I also challenge myself mentally as well.
Okay.
Because anybody can want to do something.
Yeah.
But there's a big difference between wanting to do it and then having the discipline to go do what's necessary to get it done.
What did that require, going back to high school discipline, before we go to college level? What did that require at the high school level?
What did it require at the high school level? Okay, well,
going back to going from nothing, I'm going to go get my arms built so I look good for the girls, to, okay, I have to really focus on that. How did that mentality change first, and the time and effort involved?
Time and effort, like I said, when it came down to time and effort, it's being able to just prioritize.
Okay.
Telling myself, okay, if I want to be a better athlete, you know, okay, if I have school starts at 8 a.m., I wake up at 6 a.m., I can work out for 45 minutes an hour, and then still have time to get dressed and get to school. And then, of course, after school, go to practice. And when you're at practice, actually listening to your coaches. Yeah. Okay. Be coachable. Be coachable.
Mature enough too.
And then the biggest X factor, and we hear this a lot today on, TV when they're doing backstories of different athletes. It's not the time that an athlete puts in at practice. It's what they put in after practice. Yeah, you can go to practice and learn the sport that you're playing, but then are you developing your skill? And,
are you doing the work to put in there to learn your art, your skill?
Yes.
Maybe in myself working on bodies all day, or with my friends, whatever it is when I'm in chiropractic school, and yours had to work with my teammates, whatever it is, or the weight room, and spend more time.
Yes.
And keep the place open, because I'm the last one of the last few one there, or I'm only one there in the morning because it rained today, so no one showed up besides me.
Yeah.
And that time value is going to be huge in a high school perspective. How did that transfer over went to Laverne? How did that transfer over to the next level?
Oh, it transferred over a great deal. Where, like I said, it's exactly what you just said. Being the first person in the gym when it opened, typically being the last person when it closed, not diverting from my training regimen, not making any type of excuses or trying to rationalize, I can miss the day. It's not about how well you do on the days you feel good. It's about what you do on the days you don't feel good.
You should be like, I have 100% 100-degree flu, but I'll be there no matter what.
yeah, you know, I'm doing something, or you know what, I guess in terms of a student, you know, I've got an exam I've got to study for this week, you know, but then, you know, I still got to knock out, you know, my field time or my gym time. It's, you know, it's...
We'll talk to high school kids again, they're going from high school to college, getting recruited for this school, that school.
Yeah.
They have to realize, even though you're getting recruited for them, your job on campus will be playing this sport. That is your 8-hour job a day beyond your schooling. It's not easy. A lot of kids, what I've heard is good. They go to college on a scholarship, partial, whatever it is too. By the first semester, they're done.
Oh yeah.
They've dropped out not only that sport, but also out of the school. So now they're going to, what's it called, either community college or something like that, which is not a problem, but they had sort of high expectations.
Yeah.
Did it happen to some of your friends when you went to Laverne?
You know, it's happened to
high school?
It's happened to my friends. It's happened to some of my athletes, and I
Wow.
try to, you know, coach them on, like I said, the mental aspect of an athlete is, you know what, you worked hard to get there, but now you've got to work even harder to stay.
There's still another wall to climb.
There's still another wall to climb. At every level, there's a wall to climb.
Wow.
At every level.
And right now, are you coaching more high school athletes, more middle-aged 9-to-5ers, more seniors, or what's your...
Let's see. My target demographic right now in terms of my athletes would be early 20s to early 30s.
Okay.
You know, I kind of shifted gears a little bit from the sports performance,
Okay.
from mainstream sports to more, let's say, strength athletics, powerlifting, strongman, Olympic weightlifting.
Saw that, yeah.
You know.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy. It's amazing. How do you put those in many bars? How many plates can you put on a bar without the bar breaking? It's amazing.
Yeah. It's pretty much that pretty much sums it up.
and working with your say 20 to 25 range, what mentality are they coming in with, and how are you changing that to more productive, if you want to call it, give more value?
Oh, let's see. That usually varies per individual.
Talking about the after college kids, whatever it is,
Yeah.
to that range.
Well, the after college kids are still in the what I like to refer to as they're in the Superman.
Yes.
Yeah, Superman syndrome.
Invincible.
I'm invincible.
Love it.
I can do it all.
Love it.
And then I put them through an assessment, and okay, they're humbled very quickly.
So you humble them there, and you're like, oh, didn't realize I had to do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I try to, you know, educate them like, okay, great, you can pick up this bar, but I want you to be able to still pick up this bar in 10, 20 years. You know, I don't want you to throw out your bag by the time you're 35.
It's a technique, the form.
Mm-hmm. A lot of the mentality that I get coming into this is, believe it or not, I'm actually pretty blessed that, you know, a lot of them come in just, when they come to me, they're intrigued.
Why?
They're intrigued by, you know, seeing someone who's capable of such a strength feat.
Yeah.
You know, or, you know, I just recently had someone come in, they're like, oh my God, you know, here, I have this woman, and she's picking at more than he is. And he's asking, how is she able to do that? Well, this is how she's able to do that.
She didn't wake up that way.
Yeah, this took us time to get here, but if this is something you're trying to do, we can do that. Just understand, it's not going to happen like that. And a lot of people want it like that.
And you probably have people come in different levels too. Take me for someone, what's the bottom level you'll work with when somebody comes in, athletic-wise or mentality-wise? What do you want them to have, at least some type of sense when they come in the door? I mean, everyone's different, that's what I'm saying.
Let's see, for an absolute beginner, I tell them, when they walk through the door, they leave their ego at the door.
Good. So there's no, like you said, overconfident, ego, things like that.
No, I tell them when we're starting off, when we're building from the ground up, I tell them, hey, you know, we're going to start off with maybe half of your body weight, and we're going to learn proper mechanics.
Well,
I always use the reference of, you know, building your strength is like building a house. The stronger the foundation, the stronger the house.
Huge. And you look for, in your assessment, how does your assessment work? What do you normally do? What's a general way for people to see that?
Probably the main focus of all my assessments is I usually don't check what's referred to as the mirror muscles.
Okay.
First thing I look at is the strength and health of their posterior chain.
Got it.
So hamstrings, erectors, glutes, hips, pelvis, You know,
in that core range,
that
core area.
range, exactly.
Okay.
And I see to what level their strength and their health is, and I look at their mechanics. I'm like, okay, there's too much flexion, extension of their spine? Is there too much tilt in the pelvis? Is there, no incorporation of heel and leg drive? I have my checkpoints that I go through. Like, okay, this needs to be focused on, and then I build a program or I design a program off of that. Okay, this will be our accessory work on top of our standardized lifts.
So at that point, when you're looking at assessment, then is it more of a static positioning or with motion for the assessment?
That gets a bit more sports specific in relation to my strength athletes, because when powerlifting, there's not a whole lot of dynamic.
Got it. Okay.
Versus that of my strongman athletes, there's a lot more functional dynamic strength that's going to be incorporated. My powerlifters are very static, so okay, just make sure that we're healthy, we have mobility, that and we're able to stabilize. Versus my strongman athletes, okay, are we able to stabilize through various planes of motion? Are we able to stabilize in the most awkward position possible? Because in strongman, you're placed in a lot of different awkward positions.
What is and separate for people that don't know, what is powerlifting versus strongman? Because some people have no idea.
Powerlifting focuses around three main lifts: your squat, your deadlift, and your bench press.
Got it.
Strongman is,
I saw some ESPN stuff in Australia somewhere. I don't know where it was.
I'm gonna coin one of my good friends. His name is Joe Scott, owner of the Gym Barbell Club out in Calabasas, California.
Okay.
We like to refer to strongman as the MMA of strength athletics.
Okay.
Because it taps into so many different aspects of physical fitness. It's not just powerlifting. It's not just functional movement training or interval training.
Yeah.
It's not cross training. It's a culmination. It's a melting pot. So.
And then what type of, if you work with a strongman athlete, what type of person do you need physically just to walk in the door? I was not someone my size because I'm too petite.
Honestly, I wouldn't even say that.
Okay.
I really wouldn't say that.
Is there different levels of strongman?
But yes, there's very.
Okay, it's not just one like, hey, we're all in one group.
No.
And that. Okay, I thought it was just like the big guys. That's all they show on TV, ESPN, are the big guys.
Oh, yeah, those are the
giants.
The pros.
Yeah.
Pros usually sit around. Even the lighter weight pros are going to sit around 300 plus.
Dang. That's like not just obese. That's like strong.
That's like maybe a body fat percentage of 25% at most for some.
That's like better than a football athlete or a professional athlete.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and you're talking about weight to mass ratios, strength mass ratios of 3-4 times body weight being pulled, lifted.
How do you train them? What do you do with them? Or say someone, not obviously, I don't know if you do, you may train someone who's over 300 pounds, but what are your persons like, their body type, their weight, their size, or something you train them?
All body types.
Okay.
For
strongman.
Now, yeah, for strongman.
Okay.
Just to dive into the sport, I encourage anybody who wants to try it.
Okay.
Try it. Don't be afraid to step out your comfort zone. I tell my clients on a daily basis, hey, without challenge, there's no change.
Good.
Okay, so don't be afraid to challenge yourself, because that's where you're going to see the biggest growth.
Biggest growth personally or professionally or both?
Both.
That's it, right? That's the biggest. Don't understand that is when you push yourself with doing strongman, powerlifting, running marathons, doing something outside your comfort zone, you become more confident in your whole life.
Absolutely.
And healthier too at the same time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, healthier.
Wow.
I will say, because of the sport of strongman. Okay, and I will say this as objectively as I possibly can.
Yeah.
That the sport of strongman, I'll start from a medical term.
Sure.
Your average strongman has a very high BMI.
Okay, which is, for they don't know.
For your body mass index.
Okay.
Usually it's because we hold on to so much muscle mass through the eyes of a physician. We are overweight.
You're outside the normal.
We're outside the normal, exactly. It's not uncommon that most strongmen, they're able to run, 7 to 8 minute miles, You know, they're very strong, but you know what? They may suffer from sleep apnea, which by some people would define as, okay, you're unhealthy, you need a CPAP.
But their body, you're going to have strength and some weaknesses in that same thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you know, like I say, there's pros and cons. I mean, I still like to say, I'll use myself as an example.
Yeah.
You know, I consider myself to still be a relatively healthy person.
Okay.
You know, I have no major ailments or injuries. You know, I take care of myself, you know, but I take the proper steps to take care of myself.
Is it just working out, or what are the proper steps?
No, it's not just working out.
So they know, yeah.
See, aside from a structured program, you know, I see a physical therapist. You know, I have him assess me at least once a month. If there's something that I'm deficient in, you know, he helps me correct it. You know, even myself as a fitness professional, I still go see a health and fitness professional. You know,
well, you can't see everything about your own body looking from the outside in to make have a perspective.
Yeah.
Hey, I saw you last month. This looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Why did this change?
Yeah, exactly. And especially in the sport of strongman, you know, your joints are hating you after competition because you have such heavy loads. They're compressing. You're crushing connective tissue.
And you were in this year or last year?
This year?
Were you competing?
Yeah, no, I'm still competing.
So when was the event this year? Was it last year?
My most recent event was I competed at the 2018 Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio.
Okay.
I competed in the 105 kilogram middleweight men's world championship division.
Okay.
And I placed middle of the pack. I did a fair job for my first time going there.
Okay.
You know, it was a great experience. I got to see where I level up with the world's best amateurs. Win some, lose some. But I go back into it this year hungrier, more determined to place top 5, top 10 at the very least.
Wow. When is that event?
This year? The next Arnold will be held March of 2019.
Okay.
Right now, I'm in preparation to qualify for Strongman Nationals in October.
Wow. What does that take to qualify?
You typically have to place top 2, or depending on the level, first place at a local contest. Okay. In which case, you win your qualification to compete.
So you bracket up to another one. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. How many times do you have to compete at a local level to compete at nationals?
That would depend on your level of athleticism, because you never know going to a contest.
Who's going to show up?
Who's going to show up? You know, a lot of guys will see there's each other's social media and think, oh man, he's so strong, but he may not show up, or he may not show up at his best. So you really don't know until the day of contest.
Wow.
You know, I've been on both ends of the spectrum where I've seen guys, I'm like, okay, I know this guy, he's a great athlete, I'm gonna have to really work to beat him. And then I've been that athlete where guys look at me, oh my God, Mike's showing up. Yeah. Okay, I've got to really work. I may not be feeling my greatest that day, but it doesn't mean I'm going to stop. Yeah. So. And with that too, how do people go in those competitions where their training cause an injury, and how do you avoid that? Ooh, I see that a lot where people will train for events, maybe in my sense, marathons, runs, tries, whatever it is, triathlons, and all of a sudden they go shit like, man, I'd love to compete today, but I got this going on because I overtrained or whatever it might be. Well, I guess my best answer to that would be a lot of it is be very realistic on what your injury is and how severe it is. Okay. Me personally, and I tell my athletes this too as well, is I want you to weigh out risk versus reward. Okay. If you have a pretty substantial injury that you're just coming back from, and I tell them, hey, we're just doing a local comp, is this really worth you injuring yourself again? Being down for 3 months. Yeah. You know, wow. Why give up 3-4 months of rehab for one day? But I also say this, me going into the Arnold. Yeah. I had some damage to my bicep brachii and my brachioradialis, my vastus lateralis, and my pec major and minor on my left side. I knew there was a good chance going into the Arnold, I'm going to tear these muscles, or I'm going to probably tear these tendons. Yeah. But to me, the Arnold was very important. It was very important to me. So
physically, mentally.
I mentally prepared myself that, hey, there's a very high chance you're going to hurt yourself at this contest. And I still went and did it. But once again, that was for me because my reward was I didn't want to make any type of excuse to why I did not perform well. And
you showed up.
And I showed up.
If you told people you're going to go, you're going to accountable, it's your reputation.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
As a trainer, as anything.
In the sport of strongman, as cliche as it sounds, it's not uncommon that you're going to see an athlete go up there who's going in with a torn bicep, but he'll still compete, or he'll tear his bicep in the middle of the contest, which is a very common injury in the sport of strongman.
What, on the bench press?
No, that's on powerlifting. And in strongman,
Strongman.
A lot of the movements that we incorporate, there's such a tremendous amount of tension on the bicep muscle as a whole that it's one of the most popular, one of the most common injuries to either tear the body, which guys typically will push through, or they'll tear the distal end of the tendon.
And that crosses the elbow, so it's hard to even bend your elbow at that point.
Yep. So we kind of push through sometimes. So.
Wow. Is there any way to not prevent that, but prepare yourself for that? Since that's a very common injury.
You know what? A lot of it is through your pre-habilitative programming in your workups up to contest. What type of recovery is incorporated with it? Are you doing myofascial release? Are you doing the electrode stimuli? Are we doing some type of percussion massaging?
So when you're not training, what else are you doing for it?
Oh, mobility.
That's all it is, right? You're doing, make sure that within 24 hours, if you're working 8 hours a day, what are you doing in the other hours? I'm going to get mathematician. That allows you to actually get yourself healthy and prepared to train.
Yeah.
And recirculate that fluid through your body.
Recovery should mimic level of effort into your workout.
Why don't people understand that? Why do people avoid that? A lot of people do. I mean, I'm not a strongman specialist, but just in general, people don't prepare themselves to work out and physically stay active and healthy.
You know what? I guess my response to that was once again just after training all my clients.
Yeah, you have the experience. What
a lot of them was like, it's just life. Why am I going to spend that extra 15, 30 minutes doing something like that? Hey, Mike, I'm just here for my quick workout, and then I got to go home, I got to make dinner, or hey, Mike, I got to get showered, I got to get to work.
Yeah.
Which I try to find some balance in our workouts where, hey, let's spend these last 15 minutes, let me do some, a cool down exercise, let's do some stretching, or let's do some mobility work, something to help start the recovery process. Or I'll tell them, hey, you need 6 hours at the bare minimum. You're only getting 4 hours of sleep a night. You're not allowing your body to fully recover, and then you come out the next day. I've sent clients home because they're coming to me and they just look like the living dead.
Like, did you even sleep last night?
Did you sleep? No, I got to get my workout and no, go home. You're not doing me, you, or anyone else good. You need to go home and recover.
Is the importance of stretching and preparing yourself to come in here and work out with you, does that happen after an injury usually?
No.
Okay, good. Because people they don't think about it until they go, oh, I hurt myself. How do I go backtrack at that point and have to make sure I do this next time so it doesn't happen to me again?
No, I emphasize with a lot of my clients, I have them on to the point where it's, there's a system in place where, okay,
you need to listen to me.
Yeah, for all you out there, I want you to pay attention to this too. If you're going to work out and to do so efficiently and effectively, is the old school saying, warm up.
It takes, how long does it take to warm up usually? A quick warm up where your body.
Quick warm up?
What's a quick warm up for you?
A quick warm up for me would be about 15 minutes. That's a quick warm up.
And what would you be doing in a quick warm up? More like rollers, more cardio?
Okay, so let's see. A quick warm up would be something like, okay, I want you 5 minutes. For my general gym folk, is 5 minutes on a piece of cardiovascular equipment, just to get the heart rate elevated and increase internal body temperature. All right.
Make a little sweat.
Yeah, just a little sweat. I did tell them, if your heart rate should get just over about 100 BPMs.
Yeah.
And then from there, all right, then we're gonna do maybe some foam rolling for about maybe 5 minutes. You know, we're going to focus on key areas, whatever muscle groups we're going to target for the day. And then from there, we then go into both a static and dynamic warm-up.
Okay.
Once again, target into whatever muscle group. So
what does that include? Walk me through
okay, so a static warm-up, I have them perform about maybe 1 to 2 sets of 10 repetitions.
Okay.
Let's say, for argument's sake, we're working our lower body.
Okay.
I like to focus on big joints, so hips.
Okay.
A lot of compound movement, so I'd have them start with maybe some body squats.
Okay.
Usually
just body weight.
Just body weight typically, and then from there we'll go into a light resistance of maybe goblet squat to hold a good posture alignment.
Body up.
Yep. Then we'll incorporate one unilateral piece of movement. So
get the side motion, get the hips, and the hip flexors, groin, everything else.
Exactly, and then so that would be statically, and then dynamically. All right, we're going to work on some power skips. Then
what are power skips?
Power skips is just how I have them run. I have them perform this on. We have a 20-yard piece of AstroTurf.
Okay, in the back. Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll have them just power skip forward, working on that front plane motion.
Nice.
Then I'll have them do some lateral movement, some abductor walk work.
So they come in ready to go after 15 minutes.
It's usually boom, boom, boom. Let's get you going. And I tell them, if you can, try to get here 10 minutes before we're supposed to actually meet.
Yeah.
So that way we're not spending too much time on the warm up, and we can just get to the nuts and bolts of the workout.
And that's what I don't like is when sometimes people do that. They, like you said, walk into a gym ready to go, and you've done nothing more. So now you're lifting with you, for example, training with you. They're having to start really low versus bam, go right at it. And by doing the warm up too, because people again don't do this, does it allow you to work with them where you can push them further and get more out of their workout?
Absolutely,
Okay.
because they have already prepped their body for the loads.
Yes.
Versus someone who's coming in, they're not awake, their body has to wake up.
Mentally and physically.
Mentally and physically. The whole point of the warm-up isn't just designed for their physical well-being. It's like I said, it's for their mental. That I'm getting them mentally prepared to endure this workout.
So when they actually put the weights on for the bench press, both sides are equal on there. So if they're not awake yet.
Yeah.
It happens all the time. It's amazing. It's amazing. And are those, when you power lift with someone, walk me through what you do with for example, their squat. How do you get them from 0 to where they want to be?
Oh, well, we set a goal.
Okay.
I do a baseline measurement.
Okay.
Say for my powerlifting athletes, okay, I test them on the big 3, the bench, squat, and deadlift.
Okay.
All right, great. So when's the competition? Okay,
Yeah.
The competition's in 4 months or 16 weeks. Okay, so we got approximately 16 weeks to show X amount of growth.
Got it. Do you set the where you want them then, or do you kind of wait and see where they end up?
Well, based on their initial, their baseline measurements, what they squatted for 1 rep max, what they bench for 1 rep max, what they deadlift for 1 rep max, I then, design a program. Okay, this is the anticipated growth within 16 weeks. And I like to do it conservatively speaking. Yeah, because I try to teach them not to fail on platform. I don't want them to feel like they're failing in the gym.
They haven't spent the last 4 months for nothing.
Yes, I want them to, when they're going through their program, like, hey, you should not be hitting all of your numbers in training.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got to get there.
Yeah, you've got to get there. You shouldn't be struggling on the 2nd rep of your 3rd set on a 5-set program. Okay, no, you should not be doing that. Because like I said, I program them conservatively because I tell them, I don't care what you lift in the gym. For competition, don't care what you do in the gym. It comes down to what we do the game day. It comes down to what we do on the platform. Just don't lift with your ego at the gym. You want to sell out, you sell out on game day.
At that point, you're going to almost cause an injury, like you mentioned, or wear yourself down. So your game day is not going to be your best.
Yeah, and that's very common in strength athletics. Is
that the ego again?
It's the ego, but in terms of how the ego lifting then causes performance issues in athletes is, in strength athletics, strongman, powerlifting, it's how healthy is your central nervous system.
What is the central nervous system?
Your central nervous,
which they may not know what it is.
Your central nervous.
They're just normal people watching some dumb show on Facebook.
So your central nervous system, for a better way of describing what it is, it's your operating system of your body. It tells your body what muscles to contract, how to contract, and to what degree they need to contract, and it sends different signals throughout your body and operates different functions of it. In terms of a strongman or a powerlifter, if your CNS is not strong or healthy, a lot of times it then messes with an athlete's mental state, because if your CNS isn't healthy, it does not necessarily mean that your body is not strong. It just means your CNS needs more time to recover, so it can shoot those relays even quicker and get them to do what they're meant to be done.
What I've learned too, it's a reactionary. So if you're causing a power lift and your body can't adapt to that load really quickly, like it should, all of a sudden other muscles have to fire, so now your bounce is up. Unless your bounce all the way, at that point your overall body's trying to recompensate versus maintain that all the way up in one spot, hold it, come all the way down. So if you haven't had a chance, like you said, to recover or find out what your weaknesses are so your overall body works properly, you're going to throw everything off.
Yeah.
And you may even hurt yourself too.
Oh yeah, and that does happen.
Yeah.
That does happen.
Is hurting yourself, and not hurting yourself, but having an injury, even mind, is that part of training? Based on
it shouldn't be.
Okay.
It shouldn't be.
Time being in the gym?
Strains, pulls. I mean, it happens. And we always train so it doesn't, but
you take the risk out as much as possible.
You always take the risk of hurting yourself. And I've had those days where I know my warm up was great.
Yeah.
Everything was great, but it was just maybe the smallest detail I wasn't paying attention to, and okay, now I'm hurt. I'm gonna not work out for the next 3 or 4 days because of this. Probably the most recently was, I didn't breathe correctly and I didn't brace my core the way I knew I should, but I continued on with the rep and I felt it, and that kind of put me out for a little bit. I kind of messed up my SI.
Well, and people don't realize how important is breathing when you're working out.
It's extremely important. It's
why?
Well, probably the best way for me to describe it would be one, breathing and knowing how to brace to engage your core appropriately will then save you the risk of major injury. Two, making sure enough oxygen is reaching your muscles so that they can do their job. Are probably the two most important pieces when I talk to my athletes about, okay, you need to have these. These are important, and this is why. So,
and most people have no idea how to breathe during a lift. Why and again, we were just never trained as high school kids or whatever it might be. We were never part of the regimen. Just move the weight and that's it. And when I was in chiropractic in my first semester, ironically, I tore my left pec. I couldn't lift my arm for about probably 4 months because I just didn't know what I was doing. Even though I lifted in high school, lifted my body a couple of years afterwards too, even saw a chiropractor before I went to chiropractic school, I just didn't realize on a Friday, it just didn't feel good on Monday, and all of a sudden I felt the muscle tear. You just don't know until it actually happens to you sometimes.
Yes, regrettably so. That's very common. In my opinion, that we as a society in general, I'm not going to say specifically, in general, growing up, especially those who start off in high school athletics, because that's usually when you're then introduced to weight training.
The weight room.
I like to refer to it as we are become normalized to weightlifting. However, the normal doesn't necessarily mean it is correct weightlifting.
And the way I talk about it too is, do you want to be average weightlifter or do you want to be the optimal weightlifter?
You want to be the optimal.
And by having someone like yourself in their corner allows, okay, what am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? How do I do it properly? Get the most effect of when I'm actually in a gym and working out or getting a personal trainer, so I see the overall benefit. People go to the gym all the time. I see them at the gym on January, and they're there every day and look the same by March and April. What have you done? You've shown up. Okay, great. Step one, you have the habit of showing up. But what are you doing here to make your life and your health better while you're here?
Yeah.
And that's what I worry about. And again, part of that is By doing it improv, you're being naive. You're causing some injuries. That's why people that join in January 1st, they're done by January 30th. You know, walk me through, and just to get a high-low, what has been a failure that you've been able to get over being a trainer and being strongman and being a powerlifter?
A failure I've gotten over?
Yeah.
Putting my pride aside.
That's awesome.
Okay. I'm a big advocate of you're never going to learn if you always think you're a teacher.
Yeah. That's why you see a physical therapist.
Yeah.
Everything revolves around how else can I get help from somebody else to make myself improve.
Exactly. Even though I coach a number of different athletes, you know, I myself have a coach. You know, I myself go see a physical therapist. You know, why? Because one, I want an objective point of view. I want that outside point of view. Is there something I'm not seeing?
Of course.
Okay? As educated as I am and all the experienced as I am, there might be something I'm not seeing or I didn't take a different perspective on. In which, you know, I seek out other fitness professionals that I know, those who I respect, and I ask them, hey, can you please evaluate me? You know?
Yeah, I don't want to say humility, which may not be the right word, but the ability to be teachable and continue to learn.
Absolutely.
And as professionals, you have to, because things are always changing. In my experience, when I was 30, is different now at 43. And hopefully when I get 53, if I make 53, at that point, it'll be even different too. You can pick up out along the way to make your bag of tricks better for your clients, for your patients, whoever you're working with, so they know, like you had mentioned, someone who's trained these athletes competed, you don't have all the certain qualified degrees that are currently out there, but they have the experience, they have the results of showing people what's going on.
Absolutely.
Make them better athletes, make better strongmen or powerlifters too. What clientele do you see the most benefit now going into 2018, 19, and beyond would benefit from your training? Like that's some senior athletes.
You know what? From the type of training I do, in general, once again, other than being sports specific.
Yes.
I like to see 40 plus and over, and the reason being is because they're going to benefit it the most. More specifically, I might say more specifically, just in general, male, female, over the age of 40, and the reason for that is because it's not your typical gym workout. It's something there's going to have a lot of crossover into your other activities of daily living that you're going to be doing on a daily basis.
Huge.
And that's what's important. I mean,
well, they have kids.
You're never going to do something on a daily basis where that requires you to lift a dumbbell repeatedly for 3, 4, 5 hours in a day. However, there are activities you do in a day. Something as simple as, okay, I got to pick up my kid. Okay, so I got to have all those muscles that are strong. I've got to actually be able to hold my child. Or, I've got to, as I like to refer to it, is my friends, my clients say, the honey-do list for all you husbands out there.
Gosh, it's horrible.
Right?
Never ending, as we know. Never ending.
Right?
Never
or,
ending.
okay, all right, the wife wants me to fix this part of the house. Okay, well, you know what? You better expect to be outside, bent over, hammering away at something, or picking something up, or putting something away, or carrying something. So you need to have a lot of different strength and different planes of motion just to successfully complete those tasks.
Well, and part of it is our body genetically, from the science perspective, we're still hunters and gatherers. Our genetics still require that motion, the movement. When you add more weight to your workout and you do more powerlifting, you push your body more, you get your nerves to fire, you get your muscles to be stronger. So when you do that honey-do list and other things to build a block wall in your backyard, your muscles can stay relaxed and strong, not worn out and torn, which is huge. And a lot of us mean 40s and 50s and 60s too. A lot of it is how to use our brain more, yes, but your body still requires that. So if you don't move, if you don't get strong, if you don't stay healthy and flexible, then that stress component kicks in to where now you don't sleep well. Now your overall body feels stressed. Then you start taking medications and things that you don't really need that wears down your body even faster and faster. So this is, and for you, when you see someone, what's a routine to see them? Is it a couple times, 3 or 4 times a week, or how does that vary per person? Just to kind of walk through how your system works.
Like I said, that depends on the individual, but in general, I typically see individuals 2 to 3 times a week for a prescribed time period.
That's minimal.
That's minimal.
And that's only seeing them. Do you require them to work out beyond?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
Why?
I send them home with their homework. Okay, guys, this is what you do. I give them a weekly program. Okay, hey, look, go. These are the days we meet. This is what we're going to be working on. The days you're not meeting with me, you will be doing X, Y, and Z. Okay, and then monthly by monthly assessments on that part to measure their rate of success.
And that's thing you want to see results too, right? What's the result? And you said you measure it 30 days later after the first initial starting the program with you?
It's typically monthly, a monthly assessment.
Okay.
I tell them you're not going to typically see results like that, so don't expect to see results immediately.
It's not a healing.
It's more of a, what's the word I'm looking for? A deferred gratification.
Huge. And that's the thing people don't, and again, the January effect after New Year's, people want to go to the gym on Monday and all of a sudden they're my friend like, why are my biceps not bigger? You know, and what part of your program requires nutritional assessments, adaptation to their diet, their eating patterns?
Usually every 4 to 6 weeks,
okay.
I will then, track based on their body composition. Then I reformulate their BMR, the basal metabolic rate, which is their basically the rate in which your body burns calories.
Nice. Metabolism?
Yeah, metabolism.
Okay.
I build up the metabolism as your metabolism gets stronger, so does your appetite. Typically you're gonna want to start eating more as your metabolism gets stronger. You gotta fuel your body. That's essentially what it is. You gotta fuel your body. And food is fuel.
Yeah.
And that's how everybody should look at it. But us as human beings, we don't do that. We do more for comfort than we do for necessity.
We figure how do we hack it? We're just gonna eat less and lose weight and think we're healthy.
And that's a very popular myth.
Yeah, and that's the problem. I think a lot of it is going back to what works for the body scientifically versus what you read about or advertised.
Yes.
Turn the TV off, people.
Yes. Yeah. You may not even want to hear what I'm about to say. Fad diets don't work. They don't get results. So whatever you see on the cover of People or Cosmo, check your sources.
Realize that fad diet is there on this is April or May, so the April edition, and they're going to have another diet because it pays the bills in May and also in June too.
Yes.
So a lot of it is when you stick with something that Mike does for you, a lot of it you're going to see the results in the sense where your body's going to change, you're going to be hungrier, and have higher metabolism. At that point, your body feels better. And also talk about sleep too. How do your clients sleep better? What is a better sleep per se?
Better sleep would then be they're actually reaching REM.
Okay.
What is REM? REM is random eye movement. Yep. It's the deeper levels of sleep where your body is at complete rest, where you're not fidgeting at night. You're, for lack of a better way of saying it, you're just dead to the world. But
you're unconscious.
You wake up feeling like $1 million because you have complete, good, high quality rest. And that's typically because you alleviated involuntary stress that most adults today, they get throughout because of work.
Yeah.
Dealing with the stresses of life. They don't have the proper outlet to help them relax. As contrary as it sounds, when you're talking about putting stress in your body through exercise, you're actually de-stressing your body. So when you're at the culmination of your workout, you've relaxed your muscles. You're not as tense.
And part of it too, what I've read about and seen, is you're reducing the stress hormones in your body, the catecholamines, the cortisol.
Yes.
So at that point, you're able to get that serotonin endorphins up that helps your body to relax internally.
Exactly.
So when I ask my patients when they come the first day and I see how much worn, I go, I would ask how much do you sleep? Yeah. That's my sense, my level of how much has their body been either stressed or unstressed? Do they have a good balance in their life? Yeah. Is the physical pain causing them to become too stressed? So how do you reduce that?
And that's an important thing just remember in general is balance. Okay?
Huge.
We can't.
There is no static balance, right? Or is there?
No, in life, no one has a crystal ball. So you you can't always pick and choose the stress that comes into your life, but you do have the ability to do something about it. That's still something that's within your control.
Can you adapt to tolerate that stress better by being healthier?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's what it comes down to, I think. When you
Absolutely.
can do that and learn the certain ways to do it for you efficiently, so you're not beating your head against the door, I think that's the biggest thing. As Americans, we work harder, we work longer, and things get more expensive. We have to work harder and longer. We have to drive further. We have kids that just drive us crazy sometimes. We have honey-do lists that never end. Thank you, wives.
Yeah.
But a lot of it is we can do that better versus being told by sometimes a medical doctor, hey, you have to bring your stress levels down. That sometimes, I have my patients being told, quit your job because it's too stressful. Then when you live in the streets, what are you going to do?
I've faced that numerous times with some DOs and MDs
Yeah.
telling my clients,
Yeah,
hey,
exactly.
you know what? You're pre-hypertensive.
You're working way too hard.
Your stress levels are way too high. Your blood pressure is way too high. You need to start relaxing more. Okay? And a lot of them say, oh, because it's work. And exactly like, well, you know what? Maybe you should work less. Or you need to find an alternative.
Well, here's some medications for your
like,
stress
oh,
levels.
Man, I can't stand.
Can someone work out well and get the efficiency of working out and the benefits, the results, if they're on medications?
Well,
A hesitation means, eh.
You know what?
If they depend on that as, hey, I'm going to take it no matter what, but can you still train me where I want to get to where it's my peak levels up here?
I am reluctantly going to say yes, and once again, just because I'm not a licensed physician, but I've had individuals who are on blood pressure medication, and say, hey, we're going to work on this to help on top of your medication. Or I've had clients come to me, hey Mike, I'm tired of taking medication. I'm tired of popping these pills.
That's 9 out of 10.
I don't want to do this anymore.
9 out of 10 people come
What
by
can we do in here?
Yeah.
And then I tell them, okay, well, this is what we're going to. This is the route we're going to take. I understand this may take X amount of time.
3, 4, 5, 6 months minimum. Minimum. And that's the thing is when people come in my office, it's not for pain relief, because part of it is too, but how do I get off medications that's not working me for pain relief? What do I have to do to get off of these? And I tell them, hey, look, let's treat you, let's figure out a treatment plan for you, workout routine for you too, minimally right now, and in 2 months go back to your doctor, we take your blood test that they said you need medication for, the statin drugs, and see if that blood test comes out better, then they have no reason to keep you on the medication. So as a way to backtrack what put them on in the first place. Because when you change someone's mentality where I'm on dependent on medication, that's the way I want to go over here, you can't, it's hard to have both philosophies. You have to either be accountable for your health or rely on the pills to do it for you. I think, and when you hit that wall, you're like, okay, what else do I do? You got to be able to dedicate yourself. Can I do this? It's not going to kill me if I'm not on medication. Can I do it to where either it's very, very minimal because I have a medical condition, or it's because of my lifestyle? Can I change my lifestyle by adding in the workouts, adding in a different routine I'm used to, push my body more so I see better results? Can that get the medication I was born to have, because I don't have type 1 diabetes, at that point make my life healthier by doing that? That's my pedestal I have in my office every day.
I see that's very common for me to see as well.
Yeah.
It's not to sound too religious, let food be thy medicine.
That's it. It's people don't know that. It's not on TV anymore, so people don't see it.
It's always this is the latest fat burning pill you should take, or this is the latest muscle synthesizer, you should be taking this or this and that. With my clients, I tell them, you don't need crazy supplements. You need a basic multivitamin if you're not eating enough vegetables. You need maybe a whey protein of some sort, okay, or something that has leucine in it, especially for my older men or those diabetic patients.
Yeah.
Because it's proven to be more efficient in treating their condition.
Nice.
And bottom line, I'm not pumping my clients with so many different types of supplements, because they're fads or they're going to get you results. No, not all my clients are bodybuilders. They don't need the excessiveness of these supplements. You know, it's, hey, let's keep it simple. We're going to get you eating vegetables. We're going to eat you, for those who are not following a vegetarian or vegan program, you know, okay, we're going to get you on leaner, better quality meats. You know, we're going to get you a much more balanced diet on top of regular exercise. And your body will change. It will not happen overnight, but it will change. And it will change for the better.
What success stories have you had recently that people should know about, that if they're the average person, they can assimilate with?
Oh, let's see, my most recent success story. Okay, my most recent success story, I got a couple.
What do you think is more of the...
My most recent one would be a mother of 3.
Okay.
Over the course of approximately 18 weeks, we dropped just over 20 pounds of body fat.
Wow.
You know, she did a complete body makeover, body transformation. She competed in a bikini competition. And we did so more with the goal of having the emotional and mental strength to step on stage and have your body literally critiqued.
After having 3 kids.
After having 3 kids, and she did have the mommy pouch. For those of you watching,
it does go away.
It does go away.
It's not permanent.
It's not. It's not completely permanent. People think it is. You know, it can be reduced. So that was probably my most recent success story, and she's one of my clients that's highlighted on my social media.
Saw it, part of it, yeah.
What's her name? Her name was Mrs. Rachel Guzman.
Okay, got it.
Another one would be I had a 52-year-old nurse who works at a local medical facility. You know, she was almost 70 pounds overweight. She was taking the California Physical Assessment Test to get the job.
Yeah.
You know, I had her get her. She had very limited range of motion in the hips, back, you name it.
Time was urgent too, then too.
Time was very urgent for her because she only had under 5 months to get ready for it, and she had it was a very hard process. But fortunately, we did everything we needed to do where she was able to pass her assessment test at such a later age. Yeah. And you know, she's doing well. You know,
and she continued on though?
She's continued on.
Because she saw the benefit.
Yeah, she's a huge benefit from it. Yeah. You know, and now I'm training her son to get ready for the same thing, but he's going to go to the Sheriff's Academy.
Fantastic.
So.
And it's getting someone where they're healthier, they can do things like that, especially for jobs, and they're not going to have an injury getting it. They're not going to do things where they can hurt themselves.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Anything else to add for a first video? I put your Instagram on there already, your phone number too. What's a good way to start with? Why would someone want to contact you initially? What would you help them with? What's a big concept that you want to give them?
A big concept for anybody who wishes to reach out to me and talk to me is be ready to be challenged. That's probably the most important thing. Now, when I mean challenged, it's not about a drill instructor mentality. It's understand that I'm going to take you out of your comfort zone. I'm going to have you step out of your circle, and we are going to do everything that is within the realm necessary to get you to your goal. We are definitely going to want to oh man, it's like there's going to be so much I actually want to say.
And part of it too, I think, as we were talking about, is how do you build someone's self-confidence, self-esteem, including their physical health, as a result of what you're going to train them with?
Believe it or not, for me, I'm not the pat on your back coach.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll give credit where credit is due, but I also call people out on their faults, and I'll hold them accountable. Okay, you know what? You're not doing this not because you're weak. You're doing this because you didn't do X, Y, and Z leading up to this point.
You make them accountable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that's the responsibility of any coach for that matter. If you want to see your client, your athlete successful, you're going to want to hold them accountable, and you're going to want to point out the bad days as well. You can't just build on the good days. Because
how do you learn if you don't have bad days?
Exactly. It's, like I say, it is contradicting as it is, you know, you sometimes have to fail. Sometimes have to fail to be successful.
You're going to come in, keep them to a higher standard. Yeah. At that point, you can't fail if you follow your program, because it's going to be your program you're going to set up for yourself. But Mike's going to help you get there, pushing you along the way if you need that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I said, I stand by them. I said, you know, any coach for that matter will hold their people accountable to their expectations.
Huge.
Expectations won't be unrealistic, but they will be challenging.
Yeah.
And I tell my clients this is you need to find it within your own personal constitution to do it.
Yeah.
You can't come into this with the mentality of I can't. The man that says they can and the man that says they can't are usually both right.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, Mike, anything else for the first one?
Anything else for the first one?
A little long, but we had a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Because people don't understand that it takes the time and effort and work to get the results Mike's received for himself personally, but also for his clients too.
Yeah. You know, patience, discipline, probably the two most important aspects mentally to have. It's just patience and the discipline. And the X factor for a lot of them is the one thing I can't teach them, and that is you've got to have the desire.
Nice.
If it's not for yourself, there's got to be a reason that's going to push you through your bad days. I'll use myself as an example. One is my own kids.
Yeah.
That's probably my biggest one is my kids, because you know I want to be able to still have fun with my son, play with him on the court when he's in high school, and you know I still want to be around when my daughter. I don't know if she ever will. I don't know if I'll handle it. If she ever walks down the aisle, and you know I still want to be able to enjoy time with my wife when we hit the golden years.
Yeah.
And then of course you know I like to show off with my kids. And my kids come to my Strongman competitions.
That's awesome.
And it's so cool because. You know, my kid took me to a show and tell one day, and he opened up with, "My dad lifts fire trucks." I had no way to respond to that.
Like,
I mean,
yes.
Yes. So I mean, but you know,
it's life.
it's life.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm hungry for it, and
That's awesome.
I encourage anybody to go out there and find that one thing that really motivates them. Because if you find that one thing that really motivates them, good days, bad days, doesn't matter. You're going to have the discipline, and you're going to want to put in the time.
You're never going to give up.
Nope.
Nice. Well, thanks, Mike, for the first one.
I appreciate it very much.
We'll put this out there. We're going to replay it, too, for one also on our YouTube channel. Put on Mike's stuff, too. At that point, we'll put clips out there also. It's even understand that you have someone locally here in Upland that covers Claremont, Cucamonga, Montclair, Ontario, everywhere, that can see you and help you today get started to find your desire so you figure out what you want to do with your life. All right? Thanks.
Thank you.
Kind of simple, easy.